The Mascot horror genre is a huge guilty pleasure of mine. I love these games. Even though a lot of the games made in the genre are generally not that good, I love them. So when I looked for more Mascot horror games to maybe make videos on, I was ecstatic to find two games both made in 24 hours by Stop Search Studios and Goose Studios. And I enjoyed their games, so I thought to myself, I can do this looks easy. You know what, I bet I could do this in half the time they did. I started the project by thinking about what I wanted to do for a Mascot horror game, so I opened up YouTube and just looked, and looked, and looked. But then it hit me. YouTube. All of the kids on their iPads watch YouTube in some shape or form, so why not make it about YouTube? So that's when I came up with Neil. I found this Backrooms Kitty model on Sketchfab, and also found a model of the YouTube logo also on Sketchfab. I downloaded both of these models and combined them in Blender. After making the model, I imported it into Mixer mode to rig and animate it for me. I found animations for idle, walking, running, and jump scare. Although I didn't end up using the walking animation, I downloaded it just in case. At this point, I started working on the actual game in Unreal Engine 5. Because I didn't want to make a player asset myself, I just used the Unreal Engine first-person player template. I imported my Neil model and animations and scripted in the jump scare first. The way the jump scare worked is when the player model overlapped with the trigger box on the Neil blueprint, it would blend the player camera to the jump scare camera pointed at the model for Neil, while it played the jump scare animation. After coding the jump scare, I imported the idle and running animations and hooked it up to a blend space controlled by the speed variable of the model. This made it so when the speed was 0, it will play the idle animation, and when it goes up to 500, the default speed for an AI in Unreal Engine, it will blend the animation from idle to running. I coded the model with a character sensing component, so that when Neil sees the player, he will set his speed to 500 and move towards the player. This was fairly easy to do, and it didn't take too much time, so I decided to give the AI a random roaming system. The way this worked was fairly simple. The code made the AI detect whether the player character was in its line of sight, and if they weren't, the AI would pick a random reachable location within a radius of the map and move to that location. Wait a few seconds and repeat the process. So great, I finally finished the AI, and got to move on to the actual goal of the game. I found a model of an old PC and a VHS tape. I colored the VHS tape models to 5 different tapes: red, blue, green, yellow, and cyan. I coded the tapes with a trigger box similar to the jump scare trigger on Neil, so that when the player character overlaps with the trigger box, it would enable keyboard inputs towards that tape. I made it so that when you press E on the tape, it would send a signal to the PC blueprint, letting it know that it was picked up and then delete itself from the map. Next, I coded the computers to receive the signal from the tapes. When the signal is received, it will add 1 to the current whatever colored tape collected variable, and when that variable is equal or greater than 3, it will allow you to upload the tapes to the corresponding computer, or just change the texture. It will also send out a second signal to the exit door, telling it that, hey, this computer has an uploaded video. The door is programmed fairly easily by checking for the signals from all 5 computers, and if all 5 have been activated, then it will allow the player to open the door. Now that the gameplay was finished, all I had to do now was make a menu, ending, and death screen. So I quickly did that off camera because I forgot to press record. So if you want to see that, make sure to go into the video description and download the game for yourself. So before I end off the video, please go download the game. The link will be in the description below. Be sure to recommend Restricted to all your favorite YouTubers and streamers, and please subscribe. 1,000 subscribers and I will make Chapter 2.